as well.
All right, we're live.
Come on, come, sir.
All right, y'all got any questions in the room?
Sir.
Let me know if anybody has any questions online. All right,
Come on, come.
I'll give them a second. All right, let's get to it. So I'm sure everybody is aware by now, you understand, of what went down in Alabama. You know what I mean? And let me tell you something, like there's going to be more incidents. You understand? And like what's this incident right here, right? In comparison to other times that I've seen, this wasn't like what the Christian church tries to do and make it human on human. You know what I mean? Everybody can see that this was Jacob versus Esau.
Come.
You understand? Like there is no oh this or that, or it was employees versus combatant. Nah, this was Jacob versus Esau. You understand? And even what I've seen on the internet is brothers and sisters have like really been galvanized by this. Just from the memes, from everything that's been shared, from the text messages I've been getting. You know what I'm saying? And it's what everybody needs to be aware of, that you understand, like General Muhammad says it all the time. If a black or Hispanic attacks a black or Hispanic, you understand, that's a what am I looking for? That's a crime. You understand? It's assault. It's a problem. It's an altercation. When our oppressor attacks one of us, it's an act of war.
Right.
It's one nation against another nation. And that's what you were able to witness vivid and clear as day. That's why you seen a brother jump in the water and swim across the damn river, you understand, in order to go get active.
Right.
And I've been seeing different angles and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? He was throwing haymakers and blows and all that, you know what I'm saying? Like the kid got busy. And I think he was only 16. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly something that I could have seen, you understand, somebody in the UPK do for their brothers.
Right.
You understand? Whereas other folks would have turned around and said something along the lines of, you know what I'm saying, we'll just call the cops. You know, said Cat Maria, funny as hell, he turned around, he said, then the cops show up and then they end up beating the brother that was getting beat on.
Right.
You understand? Because this is what we learned inside the scriptures. Give me John 15.
Come on, come.
John 15 and start at 12.
Come on, come. John chapter 15, verse 12.
You got a mic?
Come on, come. John chapter 15, verse 12. This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you.
So how did Christ love us? You understand? Like Christ sacrificed his entire life for the nation of Israel. And I don't mean you understand, you know, when he had actually passed before he resurrected. I'm talking about you saw him young in the temple. You understand? Early on, his parents knew that he could perform miracles. That's why Mary asked him to change wine over. How else would she know?
Right.
You understand? Because these are things that he was capable of. The scripture says he had the Holy Spirit since the womb. So now, you understand, this brother turned around. He didn't take a wife. You understand?
Right.
He didn't go get no children. He dedicated his life to being perfect so that he can be an example. And then also so that this way we would have a reference point of how to live. And then also that this way he would be that sacrifice that we would say, you know what? Our brother lived like this, so we can't live like that anymore. You understand?
Come on, come.
Read on.
Come on, come. Verse 13. Greater love have no man than this, that a man laid down his life for his friends.
That a man what?
Laid down his life for his friends.
Because ain't Yahweh Shah lay down his life for us?
Come on, come.
That's exactly what he did.
Right.
So now when you start to see that, you understand, this brother, you understand, before he threw that hat up in the air, you had a brother swim across a river. You understand?
Come on, come.
Swam across, they were calling him Aquaman, they were calling him Scuba Gooden Jr., Sea Murder, you know what I'm saying, SEA. What else did they call him? Montavious Phelps, Shaquille O'Gills. I don't know if I said that one already. You know what I mean? Like Aquaman. It was some crazy names. You know what I'm saying? Scuba Gooden Jr. is my favorite, personally. That was crazy. You know what I mean? And what happens now is, and then you start to see the rest of the people around them get galvanized, and then they all start to get active. You know what I'm saying? To the point now that everybody throwing, you know what I'm saying, chairs on a meme because that brother, you understand, and hit that devil over the head and then hit another one over the head.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, why? Because there's no greater act of love than, you understand, your brother laying down your life for another. And that's what we want in here. That's why we have songs like "We Want No Cowards in Our Camp." You know what I'm saying? That's why you see these mantras. That's why even all over the walls right now you see no excuses. Don't be sure, make sure. All the things, you understand, that reinforce a man inside of his spirit. You know what I mean? Drop that. Give me Matthews 25 and 40.
Come on, come. Matthews chapter 25, verse 40. And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me.
You understand? Like, we have to stop looking at ourselves as individuals. Christ said that in what you've done in the least, for, you understand, of the least of my brothers. You understand? Meaning the one with the lowest rank. You understand? The one that is not esteemed high, you've done it unto me. We have to start looking at each other like that. You understand? Like you see people, like unfortunately, so many of our people are so selfish that it takes an incident to happen to them, you understand, before they're able to sympathize with somebody else. That's what sympathy is. Sympathy is you've been through something, so you understand it. We need empathy. We need compassion. You understand? We need for nothing to be able to happen to us, but when it happens to one of us, we still feel it. And that's what you saw with them brothers, you understand, and them sisters that was all around. They said, nah, this is for all of us. You understand? Without that, we cannot build and we cannot grow as a nation. And you're going to turn around and tell me that every other people don't do this?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, what happened once again? Akai Gurley. Asian police officer murders this brother out in Queens. The entire Asian community protested up and down the East Coast saying that you're not going to use one of ours as a scapegoat. That's what you're doing. Right. Y'all could have got convictions on how many other murders. Y'all ain't do it, but you want to convict the Asian? They overturned the guilty verdict. Why? Because they saw what they did onto the least of their brethren. And they said, nah, you're not going to help. You understand? You're not going to do this. This is just a civil servant in New York. He wasn't nobody special. But every Asian knew who was wearing the same jersey. Right. All of them know who's on the same team, so they know what the score is. So they understand when another team is making moves on them. And they said, nah, America, you're not going to do that to one of ours. Right. Because Asians don't come here and then act American. You know what I'm saying? Right. And when I mean act American, I mean they don't lose who they really are ethnically or nationalistically. They don't sacrifice their culture to come to America. They don't sacrifice their language. And I mean, they sure as 99.9% of the time, you're going to see Asians moving together, right, walking together, playing basketball together, handball together. And this is New York. So, you know what I'm saying? Those outside New York, outside of New York and Cali, most of y'all don't know what handball is. But you're going to see them together everywhere that they go because there's strength in numbers. There's strength in being together. Even the scripture says, you know what I'm saying, a threefold cord is not easily broken. You know, one can be warm. It takes two to make heat. All of that is, you understand how we're supposed to walk together and be agreed. It's the same thing when it comes down to, what was it, Delta Airlines? The Asian got put in a chokehold. No Asian flew. They were canceling flights internationally around the world. They settled with a $22 million lawsuit out of court. You understand? Quick, easy, smooth. Because they understand their buying power. They understand it hurt their pockets. Like, you wanna hurt this place, you hurt their economy. Like, why did they end up, you understand, letting black folks sit on the front of the bus? Because of the bus boycott. So with that boycott inside of Alabama, they said, yo, this is crippling us. That black folks who can't afford a car would rather walk than take the bus anymore. Right. During that time period. You think about how expensive a car was at that time. It wasn't mass produced like it is today. You know, like the reason why there's no parking in the Bronx right now or Brooklyn or anywhere in New York is because cars have become more affordable. You think about in the 60s, they were not mass produced at the rate and quantity that they are today. So every single one of us, and that was all possible because the world believed, you understand, or our world believed that Rosa Parks was worth that. That this one woman who was offended and arrested and oppressed, that as a result, that because this happened to her, our people needed to be galvanized and unified together so that now they would be able to push back. Like, you can't even have civil rights without the thought of black-centric. You understand? Like, you have to first be thinking about us and our needs solely. Because they weren't thinking about the Asians. They weren't thinking about the Arabs. They weren't thinking about anybody else. Civil rights was about, you understand, minorities here inside the country. And then what did they do? They ended up giving it to Asians anyway. Right. Ended up giving it to Arabs anyway. You understand? Even the stats today that's boosted, they get boosted a lot of times by Hamites. They come over and like they're counting a lot of, you know, Hamitic businesses as black businesses. And meanwhile, it's some Nigerian who came over here with a business loan. Came over here with some loan that they claim bankruptcy. You understand? Now they don't got to pay back the loan. And then while they have their businesses set up, you know how many heathen businesses do not need to pay taxes? And then every 7 years, they just put it in their cousin's name. They still own it. They still collect. They bring someone else over, pay them to run the store. You understand? Open up another store, and none of those stores pay taxes. And then everybody else acts like, why can't you get ahead? Well, because we don't get a tax break. Right. We don't get startup money for businesses. That's why they're able to come inside of our businesses. Give me Ezekiel 37:8.
Come on, Khan.
Baba Kasha. Read it whenever you got it.
Come on, Khan. Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 8. And when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came upon them, and the skin covered them, but there was no breath in them.
I'm sorry, 34. 34 and 8.
Come on, Khan, sir.
We can go back to Ezekiel 37. Let's start in 34.
Come on, Khan. Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 8. As I live, saith the Most High Power, surely because my flock became a prey.
And that's what you saw, right? Like what you saw in that moment was one of the Lord's flock getting ready to become prey. You understand? Who is it that preys on us? Good?
Come on, Khan. And my flock became meat to every beast of the field.
You understand? These heathens are beasts. That's what they are. They are beasts of the field. And they thought that this brother was food. You understand? They thought they was going to chew him up and spit him out. You understand? Like they do every other brother. They thought they were going to do him like they did that brother on the train. Nah, you wasn't about to have him in a chokehold on the floor. You understand? And that's how it's got to be. Like we can't allow these other nations to keep thinking that they are able to touch or harm one of us. They need to know that, nah, we care about each other.
Right.
You understand? They need to know, nah, like this brother's life is worth something. You know what I mean? Like it's you can't turn around and like whatever we do amongst ourselves is our business. Mind your business.
Right.
You understand? It's like it disgusts me when I hear someone from another nation talk about black on black crime. You understand? Bring up what goes on with MS-13. Bring up what goes on with Mexican cartels. Like, oh, you understand? When they turn around and talk about our people, man, mind your goddamn business. That's internal affairs.
Right.
That ain't got nothing to do with you. You understand? Because you want to talk about violence at a concert. You name me a more deadly shooting than what happened at that country western.
Right.
You understand? White man pulled out. I mean, how many people did he mow down? Over 100? How many people got stomped? You understand? Just running for their lives. You want to talk about violence? Like, we might have gang beefs and whatnot, but when's the last time you heard of a gang member coming in, you know what I'm saying, murdering his op in school?
Right.
Never. How many white kids shoot up schools? How many school shootings was there in the last 10 years? You find that statistic, and guess what? The only reason why school shootings and mass shootings have decreased was because of COVID.
Right.
You understand? Like COVID, it's because our oppressor had to stay quarantined in the house. So now he couldn't go into public to harm anybody else.
Right.
That's the only reason as to why you'll see a decline. Like what year did COVID hit? 21 or 20?
About 21.
20. Let's say 21, right? I can't even. Time flies so fast. Let's say 21. You understand? 19 school shootings, 20 school shootings, 21. You understand why? Because they weren't around. And that's like the proof that when we turn around and say that these people need to be in cages, it's because that's the only way everybody else could be free.
Right.
That's the only way that you could work security on a boat and there's not an issue. You understand? Because somebody feels privileged. Because somebody feels like our nation, you understand, can't have authority over them.
Right.
Keep reading.
Because there was no shepherd, neither did my shepherd search for my flock. But the shepherds fed themselves and fed not my flock.
You understand? And our shepherds, our leaders, they go and feed themselves instead of they flock. Right. You understand? Like you'll have Christian leaders looking down on this. You understand? When this was I'm gonna say a pseudo victory nonetheless. You understand? Because we don't get no real justice on a large scale.
Right.
But them brothers and sisters got justice inside that moment for what they did. You understand? For that brother.
Right.
And that's why it was a win. That's why everybody's going crazy, because they know that we constantly think about how racist Alabama is. Matter of fact, wasn't the bus boycott I was talking about earlier in Alabama? Like you think about how much oppression had happened inside of that state. You know what I mean? Like you talking about in the heart of Klan territory. Like one of the most racist places that you could possibly be is Alabama. And now you turn around and then you see that, you understand, our people are tired of being stepped on. They're tired of being prey.
Right.
Tired of being victimized. You understand? Like it's only a matter of time until you feel a pushback, and race relations are not going to get any better.
God.
You understand? Like it's prophesied inside the scriptures for race relations to get worse. That nation shall rise against nation. Like the time is coming for all of us to come home onto ourselves. Like, and that's what you see. That's what you're going to continue to see. Like, even when you turn around and you watch what's going on with BRICS and all the economies around the world, how many countries said that they're declining the US dollar? They're going back to their own scale, their own measure. Why? Because people are starting to stay to themselves. And that's natural.
Right.
It's not like I say this all the time. You go outside, you don't see the pigeons hanging out with the crows. You know what I mean?
Right.
And both of them are birds. You might see ducks and geese, you know what I'm saying, in the same pond. They separate. Right. They're not swimming together. You see all the ducks together, swimming together. You see all the swans swimming together. Why ain't they kicking it together like a Disney movie? You understand?
Come on.
Like in nature, like you know when you see two separate species of animals together, captivity.
Right.
Zoos. You understand? What some rich client, you know what I'm saying, who's got an exotic animal license, who decides to get all these different animals and raise them together young. You know what I mean? Now you see a Labrador and a tiger hanging out together. Right. Go release your Labrador in the safari of Africa. You understand? And let me know, you understand, release it in front of a lion. Let me know if the lion and the Labrador is going to be best friends. Right. That's food. That's nature. You understand?
Okay.
I want to turn around. You got people trying to befriend alligators. Like, it don't work like that. Like, you go in a microscope, the same type of microorganisms stay with the same type of microorganisms. That's in a microscope. When you see squirrels and pigeons hanging out together. Never. When you see squirrels and rats hanging out together. Do you know that uptown and downtown rats, like you see there's rats all over New York? Well, if you go uptown and you go downtown, the rats are different. They have two different cultures. They have two different genetic markers because they come from two different family groups. And guess what? They don't mix. They don't get along. And that's how it always was. Like now, you know what I'm saying? Like white people go past 125th Street on the train because everything's starting to get gentrified.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like that before. Uptown and downtown never mixed.
Right.
You understand? Never went down like that. Even down to the rats that are in New York City, they don't mix with each other. It's unnatural for us to mix. We don't mix, we don't blend, we don't gel. And that's what you could see happening on that boat ride. Read on.
Verse 9. Therefore, O ye shepherds, hear the word of the Most High.
You understand? Like if you're a shepherd, you're supposed to hear the word of the Lord. You understand? You're supposed to understand that if you don't look at us in the condition we're in and realize that we have to separate, you're failing. You understand? Because you would rather profit off of our demise instead of, the scripture says money is a defense. Like they want to sit down and make it sound like money is evil. Money is not evil. The love of money is the root of all evil, meaning if you will choose money over serving the Most High. And speaking of money, pay your tithes.
Right.
You understand? You go to ISU. How do I pay my tithes? You go to isupk.com. You understand? And you pay your tithes. And tithes is not corn. It's not wheat. It's not grain. You don't know the Bible. Shaw, let me ask you something. When a farmer grows crops, right, and he's got acres and acres and acres of crops, what does he do with those crops? He trades them?
He sells it.
He what?
Sells it.
What does he sell it for?
For money.
For money. You guys don't know how business works?
Right.
Like if you got a candle business, you understand you're supposed to pay 10% of your candles? You come give us, you understand, 10%
Right.
of the candles that you made. What do you take your candles and trade them for groceries? No, what would you do with your candles?
You sell them to buy groceries.
You'd sell your candles. And if you made a profit, what should you do with the profit? Tithe it.
Tithes.
You understand? You sell your candles. All right, so small example. It cost me $500 to make these candles, right? I made $1,000, which means I deduct 500. How much profit do I have? 500. I made $500 on the candles. Now you take 10% of that. 10% of 500 is 50. And you go give that to Commander General Yohana.
Right.
That's what you do. Drop that. Give me Ezekiel 37. Start at 1.
Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 1. The hand of the Most High was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit of the Most High, and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones. Verse 2.
Slocky, if you grab that. So now, this is a vision, right? And once again, this is not to be taken literal. Like this is talking about a valley of dry bones. You understand? You like once again, the Lord gave this vision onto Ezekiel, and visions symbolize something. You understand? Like you can't read the Bible literal. You can't read the Bible through Western eyes, and I'm being real polite when I say it like that. It's Eastern culture. It's two completely separate, you understand, people. If I just look at, you understand, the Near East or the Far East, do Asians speak the same language as white people? No. Only when they want to do commerce. Do they got the same utensils? Do they use forks and knives? No, they use two little pieces of woods. You understand? Chopsticks. They have a completely separate culture. Why do you think that, you understand, that when they wrote, everything would be literal? It don't work like that. So visions are almost metaphors. They're letting you, they're explaining something real. You understand? With something extraordinary or something, you understand, different, in order to be able to give you a message. So in this instance, what you're seeing is the valley of dry bones. Everybody outside the school is in the valley of dry bones. You understand? Like you walk outside, you see the dead.
Right.
You understand? Like that's why you see people slumped on the side of the street. You understand? That's why you see people sleeping outside homeless. You understand? Losing their mind. You understand? They would rather, you understand, shoot heroin than go inside the homeless shelter, because the homeless shelter got too many rules. This is the valley of dry bones. You understand? The weed heads. Just insert any sin you could think of. Read on.
Verse 2. And caused me to pass by them round about. And behold, there were very many in the open valley. And lo, they were very dry.
You understand? So now what you see is it says they were very dry, meaning what? They are super dead. You know, like when a body deteriorates, you know what I'm saying? There's moisture inside the bones. You know what I'm saying? From there being moisture inside your body, bone marrow, all that. If a bone is dry, it's dried out. It's been dead for a long time. It's you understand, like you can't comprehend how something like this even had life. Good.
Verse 3. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live?
Can these bones live? Good.
And I answered, O Most High Power, thou knowest.
It ain't up to us to know, you understand, who the Lord is going to raise up from this dead. Who the Lord is going to allow to be given an opportunity to be born again. Good.
Verse 4. Again, he said unto me, Prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Most High.
You understand? You hear the word of the Lord. You hear the word of the Most High. Like that's what we do every time we go out in the streets. Right. We go and prophesy so that this way somebody can get a chance at life.
God.
That somebody can hear the words of the Most High and actually turn around and repent. Good.
Verse 5. Thus saith the Most High Power unto these bones, Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and he shall live.
You understand? And that's the same breath that Adam got in the beginning of the scriptures. You understand? Because this breath is talking about the word of the Most High. What does the word want us to do? What does the Lord want us to do? Obey his words. If you obey his words, you're going to enter into life. If you disobey his words, you're going to die.
God.
It's that simple. It's black and white. There's no gray area. There's no moving around it. You understand? There's no compromising it.
Right.
You understand? The Lord is not 50-50. He comes to collect. He wants it all. Straight up and down. So now, and here's something else too. And when we go prophesy, we prophesy to the wind.
Right.
You understand? Like we go on them street corners and all we do is teach. You understand? It ain't up to us to choose who the Lord wants. Unfortunately, everybody can't go. But you want to treat it like everybody can.
Right.
You understand? Like you gotta see a brother who swims across a river to save his brother and not look at him like a troublemaker.
Right.
Not look at him like we'll call the police. You got to see value in him. You understand? Like you need to peer out to this brother that's in the valley of dry bones and understand he could live. And see the potential that he has to be a soldier of the Most High. Good.
Right. Verse 6. And I will lay sinews upon you.
Sinew is like, you understand, what connects, you understand, bones to flesh. You understand? All the muscles, all the fibers, all the tendons. Good.
And will bring up flesh upon you.
And will bring flesh upon you, meaning what? That these bones are going to start coming into life. The truth has phases. You know, everybody's going to be at a different phase or a different level. You know, so maybe levels is a little bit better. You know, like you start off as just somebody in the world. And then you stop and you start to listen. You're in the valley of dry bones. Now you start coming to class. And then you start learning, okay, I can't smoke cigarettes no more. Now you got to kick cigarettes. You learn you can't smoke weed anymore. You understand? Now you learn you can't celebrate Christmas. You can't eat pork, crab, shrimp, lobster, tuna. You learn you can't sleep. You learn sex is marriage. You understand?
Right.
You learn that if you sleep with somebody, that's your husband.
Right.
You learn that if you're a woman and you sleep with a man that's not your husband, you've committed adultery and you're now a whore in the eyes of the Lord.
Oh.
That's how these things work. You start to learn right from wrong.
Right.
And as you start to learn these things, the breath of life enters into you and you start to live. Read on.
And cover you with skin and put breath in you, and he shall live, and he shall know that I am the Most High.
You understand? You're going to know that it is the Lord that did it. I'm going to try to tell you something right now. It's nothing but the Lord that could have got me to stop smoking weed. Nothing else. I can't even imagine. It's nothing but the Lord that could have got me to cut my dreads. I can't imagine that because it's crazy because dreads is one of the only hairstyles that is a part of your identity. You know what I mean? Like you grow your hair a little bit or you know what I'm saying? You get yourself like, you know what I'm saying, a Caesar fade and all that. It's not your identity.
Right.
Dreads is like a part of who you are. It's your philosophy. It's a part of your being. I never could have imagined, you understand, cutting them off. Now I know how filthy they are. You understand?
Right.
Now I know they don't belong to us. I don't want nothing that don't belong to the nation of Israel.
That's right.
I don't want nothing that the Lord didn't deem acceptable. Read on.
And one come, verse 7. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone.
Good.
Verse 8. And when I beheld, lo, the sinews in the flesh came up upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them.
You understand? Meaning that, so you start going through this, you understand, through these stages. You start going through these levels where you learn more and more and more, but you still need the breath of life inside of you. You still need the Holy Spirit. You understand? Read on.
Verse 9. Then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith.
You said you prophesy where?
To the wind.
You prophesy to the wind. You know what I mean? Captain Zarek say it all the time. Like, he go out there and teach the light pole. You know, you don't know who you engage in. You don't know who's gonna be out there. You know what I mean? Like, anybody could be out there, and especially on 125th Street.
Right.
Remember one time, this was years ago, you know what I'm saying? DJ Khaled pulled up standing on top of a tour bus. You understand? Now, he's a heathen, you know what I'm saying? But my point is, you don't know who's going to come to camp. You don't know who's going to come to battle. You don't know who's going to come to listen. You don't know. You understand? None of that, kid.
Thus saith the Most High power.
Salakia. Brother raised his hand.
Oh, yeah, Salakia. So, and on that day, that same day, because he was promoting his album or whatever.
Right,
there was
right.
a whole bunch of, ski, for saying it like that,
Right.
Following on the bus because they were trying to get something free or something.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And then that brings a crowd over to the truth. You know what I'm saying? Now you got brothers and sisters that's in the valley of dry bones. And now what are they doing? You understand? Now we prophesy to the wind, and it's up to the Lord who's going to hear this.
Right.
It ain't up to us. We don't pick and choose. Go ahead.
Thus saith the Most High power, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live.
And what?
That they may live.
And breathe upon them that they may live. Good.
Verse 10. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived, and stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army.
Man, and this is what you got to understand, that we're building an army for the Lord.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we want soldiers. Like, we don't want cowards.
Right.
You understand? We don't want scared police officers. We don't want people who are deputized by them. You understand? And won't call the police for Joy Morgan, but will call because they're a homeowner and they want niggas off the corner.
Right.
You understand? Like, we got to realize the times that we're in. And once again, we have to value courage. We have to value, you understand, brothers with enough strength to fight for their people. It's not something you look down on. It's not something you turn around like there's a call to action.
Right.
That's why the scripture says many are called, few are chosen. Like, if you called for service. You called for the military. Like, this is spiritual warfare.
Right.
You understand? Like you understand, like, if you have gotten off drugs, if you have, you understand, kicked pills, I don't care if it's Xanax, Percocet, you understand, Molly, ecstasy, whatever. If you've kicked weed, you know what I'm saying? What do they call it now? You know what I'm saying? Loud, wax, vape pens, you quit vaping, you understand, all this. You gotten off something harder, cocaine, heroin. You've defeated a government conspiracy.
Right.
Like, feel that for a minute. Like, the government of America wanted you to be high.
Right.
Been pouring drugs into your community and policing you since the 60s. You understand? Nixon, Reagan, Clinton, all the way up to the present day. wanted you to be high, engineered crack. You understand? Had the CIA bringing it in, selling guns to the Contras, exchanging it for cocaine, dumping it in the ghetto, changing their laws to police you. You understand? Over 2 million black men in the prison system right now. They did all this to destroy us. That's your battle. You did all this, and you defeated a government conspiracy.
Right.
Like same thing. Like you think it's, you think it's by chance that, like, you know what I'm saying, Planned Parenthood was knocking on doors under the Obama administration trying to get you to abort your babies. Like look at the demographics of who's getting the most abortions. That's because Margaret Sanger, you understand, created the Negro Project, and then came and greased the pockets of your filthy preacher in order to push that abortion's okay.
Right.
Jesse Jackson, you understand, once said that the most dangerous place for a black child is in the womb. Then he ran for president, changed his whole stance. Even Farrakhan turned around and said it's a woman's choice. Why? You understand? Because all of them are cowards who compromise.
Right.
But if you are somebody who will turn around and say, I'm going to take responsibility, you understand, for the sex that I'm having. Because it's not a matter of controlling a woman's body. It's a moral issue. Are you going to open or close your legs?
Right.
Are you a whore who's hot in the tail? You understand? Or are you somebody with some self-control? Or are you an animal who just can't help with your hump?
Right.
Is that how it goes? Like, we have a moral issue. Like, we don't have an issue of you understand, controlling someone's body. We have to be able to control ourselves. We have to be able to control our thought process. We have to be able to, you understand, control our most basic primal instincts. And that's spiritual warfare. And if you do that, you've beaten another government conspiracy. You understand? You've beaten another principality inside the earth.
Right.
Drop that. Give me Matthews 18 and 21.
Come on. Matthew chapter 18, verse 21. Then Peter to him said, Slakia. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me?
You
And
understand? So how often should my brother sin against me? Go ahead.
and I forgive him.
And I what?
Forgive him.
And I what?
Forgive him.
So like here's something else that we're gonna have to have as a people, as a nation. We're gonna have to have conflict resolution. We're gonna have to be able to forgive each other.
Right.
We're gonna have to be able to make peace with each other, so that we'll love each other enough to defend each other. You understand? Once enemies come, that we'll love each other enough to want to protect one another. But you don't want to protect somebody that you can't forgive, somebody you angry with, somebody you bitter with. Good.
Come on. Till 7 times.
So what?
Till 7 times.
So he's saying 7 times. Good.
Verse 22. Yahushua said unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7.
You understand? Until 70 times 7. Like, we have to be able to forgive each other and don't keep score. You know what I'm saying? You don't put it up on the scoreboard. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and if a brother says Salakia and changes his behavior, you let it be like water off a duck's back, because we all growing in here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's going to come a time you might offend, you understand, and you don't even know it. You understand? So as a result, you want to be able to be forgiven.
God.
Do you not?
Come on.
Because that's what keeps this thing together. How are we going to fight off government conspiracies, the other nations, our own demons, principalities, the Roman Catholic Church, the Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation? You understand? Like, I'll run down the prayer.
Right.
Like you understand that's what we're up against? Like, we're up against every government has a conspiracy against us.
God.
We're up against every religion, every church, every mosque. You understand? Even the smaller ones. We you understand? Like we up against voodoo.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we up against Santeria, atheism. You understand? Like, an atheist would rather believe in the flying spaghetti monster than the God of the Bible.
Right.
That's real. You can look it up. There's a church of the flying spaghetti monster for atheists. Real talk. We up against the earth right now. The entire planet. We got to fight each other. You can't even go on a ferry boat. And I think what was even funnier was that the boat was named Harriet. You know what I mean? Like, that was like it's like a real subtle irony. You know what I mean? But drop that. Give me Romans 12 and 10.
Come on, Khan. Romans chapter 12, verse 10. Be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love.
Be what?
Be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love.
Like, that's how we got to treat each other. We got to treat each other like we're blood. And we got to treat each other kind. Like, a little kindness goes a long way, man. Good?
In honor, preferring one another.
And we got to prefer one another, because who prefers us? You know, like even if we take it off the school, right, for just a second, and we just put it on our entire nation. You know, the scripture says, gather ye selves together, yea, O nation not desired.
Right.
We're undesirable.
God.
What other nation loves us? None of them. They all got a byword for us.
Right.
You understand? They all look down on us. They all think that we're just the bottom of the barrel of society. So we're supposed to prefer one another. You saw on that boat ride, you saw brothers who preferred one another.
That's right.
You understand? Preferred one another. That they said, no, we're going to go fight together. And ain't that what we do every week at camp?
Right.
We go fight together.
Come on, Khan.
Ain't that what we did in Hebrew Academy?
Come on, Khan.
Ain't that what we do? You understand? Every time you just wake up just to try to get to a class.
Come on, Khan.
Like, you work slavery today?
Come on, Khan.
I did too. You tired?
Come on, Khan.
Why we here?
Because we prefer one another.
Because we prefer one another.
That's right.
You understand? Because we fight. Like, that's why we here right now. That's
Right.
why we doing the cookouts. That's why we travel to Chicago. We prefer one another. I prefer Captain Marvel Quad's cookout over any cookout that's going on in New York that same weekend.
Right.
Because that's my brother. We have to prefer one another. Even when it comes down to business. I stopped buying now this is up to y'all. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no, you know what I'm saying? If you want to go get, you know what I'm saying, Givenchy or Gucci, that's on y'all. I ain't gonna knock none of y'all. But Captain Zaryak is my brother, who went through the same tutelage as me. It might sound crazy, but he was a trooper once. So was I. Very far. I laugh all the time. Trooper Katazai don't even sound right. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you know, nonetheless, we were there.
Right.
But I prefer that brother, so I don't buy colognes anymore. I buy Carl Gas.
Khan.
That's it. That's what I wear. I pull up smelling like Carl Gas and Cantu. And the only reason why I'm still buying Cantu is because a sister in the school ain't come up with a leave-in conditioner. Y'all need to get on that. Mamas, if y'all listening right now, I need a leave-in conditioner.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Something that's gonna keep my hair moisturized the whole day under that damn hard hat. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need. It's like we need to prefer each other in everything that we do. We need to prefer each other. You understand? Supporting each other's businesses. Need to prefer each other's company. Need to prefer this place, because the world don't love us.
Right.
Read on.
Come on, Khan. Verse 11. Not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Most High.
Can't be slothful in business, and we're talking about the Lord's business right now. You understand? You got to be fervent. You understand? You got to be fertile. You got to make things happen, get things shaken, and not do things like you just drag, and not do things like it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta like, if I don't want to get out of bed, even if I'm sick, I damn near got to ask myself, would I call out of slavery? You understand? And if I wouldn't call out of slavery, I should not call out of the work of the Lord. Don't give more to America than you give to your nation. Like, you're going to work 30, 40, 50, 60 hours a week and not go to camp?
Right.
You're going to work 2 jobs. You understand? Maybe 3 slaveries and not give 4 to 8 hours on a Saturday to the Most High?
Mm.
You can't fit 2 hours to come to class? You can't fit 2 hours to come do Shamar?
Right.
Oh, but you could give your 8 hours to your supervisor, to your employer. You could do that. You don't want to pay tithes, but you're going to pay taxes.
Right.
You're going to pay back that PPP loan. You're going to pay all that back, but you won't pay the tax to your nation. I understand. You don't prefer this place. It doesn't mean enough for you to show up, for you to be here, for you to put work in. That's what the scripture says. You're not slothful in business. Stand on business. Read on.
Come on, Khan. Verse 12. Rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation.
You got to rejoice in hope. You got to turn around. You got to understand that there is going to be hope. And you also got to be patient in tribulation. You understand? Something goes wrong, you don't make a decision in that moment.
Right.
Don't base decisions off of emotions. Especially sisters. You feel emotional, don't do nothing. Get your shit together. Collect yourself. Gather yourself before you make a mistake. Because if you do something in that situation, here's what's going to happen. You're going to feel better. Meaning what? Meaning that spirit's going to leave you, but you're going to feel regret for the action that you just made.
Right.
You understand? You might damage a relationship that you have. Might miss out on opportunity. What does the Christian church say? You're going to block your blessings. Right? That's what they say. You got to be patient inside of tribulation. Read on.
Continuing instant in prayer.
You understand? Continuing instant in prayer. And now is a time more than ever to pray. I feel like everybody forgets how to pray when they first come in the UPK. Because you feel like you're here, so you always feel like you're with the Lord. But we got to remember, you understand? I mean, not only to be grateful, be thankful, but you got to remember, we can actually ask the Lord for things. We could talk to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And not like, Lord, I need a new car. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the Christian church, or, you know what I'm saying? Just, I need this job and all these other things. But you can legitimately, think about it like this, right? How many Muslims are there in the world? Billions? A billion?
Khan.
Hundreds of million?
Khan.
Right? Think about how much they pray, what? 7 times a day?
Right.
You know, if 77 times 7 prayers from Muslims, all those prayers are falling on deaf ears.
Right.
Because that object that in Mecca don't have ears. You think about Buddha. You think about, you understand how many little snacks and fruits they leave in front of them Buddha statues. How much tribute they come and they bring. Candles they burn in front of those statues in the Christian church. Those prayers aren't getting heard by those.
Right.
We serve the creator of the universe, the true and living power. We can actually talk to him. Listen, he will listen, and something can come out of it. Like, I don't know about y'all. I believe this record. I believe Samson had super strength.
Right.
You understand? I believe the Lord used Elijah to raise the dead. I believe the Lord raised the dead. You understand? In Kings, when Elijah laid on that body 3 times. I believe Yahweh shall stop the storm on that ship.
Right.
Now I look at this, and that is not far-fetched to me. That is not something that seems illogical or unfathomable. It seems completely smooth and possible if the Lord is involved.
That's right.
We better start communicating with the Lord. You understand? Have these prayers go up. You understand? And especially, like, you understand, something I always talk to Captain Zakar about. We always talk about, you understand, like, especially sending the prayers, like, for Commander Jinihana, General Mahiman, General Mayak, General Hazayan. You understand? General Shawamar, General Kathumgabar, General Kabbalamath. Like, you think about the burden that they have on the nation. You know what I mean? Like you think about, like, just imagine if it, like, I'm gonna put it on you just because you're sitting at the computer right now. But imagine if every time someone was late on their rent, they called you and you had to solve the problem. Imagine if every time, you understand, an incident happened, they called you, no matter where it was in the country. Do you know how much General Mahiman's phone rings? I would jump out of a window if I had General Mahiman's phone. I would jump out of a window if I had Captain Mawaquad's phone. I hung out with him for an hour. His phone rang 37 times. You understand? Like, feel that for a minute. Like, feel how much responsibility is on them brothers' shoulders. And then think about how Satan's come at you. Now imagine how much he comes at them because of how much of this nation is resting on them. We got to stay, you understand, praying for our brothers and sisters, and not just at the top, you understand, but you understand all the way on down to the least of us. Read on.
Verse 13, distributing to the necessity of saints.
Now, ain't that what they're responsible for? Distributing to the necessity of the saints. You got to distribute that rent, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let me borrow 5,000. You got it. You got it. If you had it, I know you would.
Come on.
But you get what I'm saying now, because I'm being funny. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Come on. Giving to hospitality.
And brother, I was given the hospitality. You know what I'm saying? Like, rode over to Chicago with Captain Zaryak, rode with Captain Mawakwa, found a place for me to stay. Brother gave me a room. You know what I'm saying? Said, help yourself to anything that's in the fridge. You understand? Hey, shout out to Lamakya Allah. You understand? I woke up. If I said I was hungry, the brother was like, let me grab my keys. You know what I'm saying? Took me to Chick-fil-A, took me everywhere I wanted to go. You know what I'm saying? Anywhere I needed to go, that brother, you understand, rolled me around. You know what I mean? He didn't have to do all that, but that brother showed me hospitality in another state. That's what we got to do. And that's what New York is going to have to do in a couple of weeks.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? There's going to be brothers that come into the city. We're going to have to show them some hospitality.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why Officer Shah Gapan is going to, you understand, lead the way in the festivities. That brother know all the spots. You know what I'm saying? And brother might even have to come stay with y'all. You know what I mean? Gonna set him up. Brothers coming for the Passover, wherever the Passover will be at this year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe a brother can't afford a room right now. So this is where you give him a room in your crib for that time. We got to give hospitality to one another, take care of each other, because brotherhood is a weapon. Our economy is based on brotherhood.
Right.
Read on.
Verse 14. Bless them which persecute you. Bless and curse not.
Now, this is a hard one. This is a hard one. You know who's insanely good at this? Captain Azariah. Like, you think about how many people he deal with, how many people want to battle him all the time, and he just treats it like it's another day at the office. Me, I have to fight the desire for fire and brimstone inside myself. You understand? Read on.
Verse 15. Rejoice with them that do rejoice.
You understand? You rejoice with them that do rejoice. You gotta be excited when your brother get a rank raise. You understand? You got to be excited when your brother get a promotion. You got to be excited with anything good. Like, I've never like I joke all the time, right? Like, you know, I got a strong opinion when it comes to music. I'm harder on DJs than I am on artists. You know what I'm saying? But it's subjective. And I try to be less opinionated now. You know what I'm saying? Just keep that shit to myself. But I like to talk music like people talk sports. You know what I'm saying? And I say all that to say this. But I've never been a hater at someone else's success. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with half the garbage that's on the radio right now, I still say, but get your bag.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I still don't. I like you, a black, Latino, or Native Indian in America. I don't turn around and want to see you fail in anything that you do. I want to see you succeed and then pay your tithes. You know what I'm saying? Send it over to Commander Jenny Hanna.
Right.
But I never been a hater. Like, I never like wanted to look at somebody and like be like, oh, they got a car that's nicer than mine. You know what I'm saying? I always felt like if I want it, I can go get it.
Right.
I'm happy you got yours. Never made me feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody sets up a business and it starts booming. You know what I'm saying? I want to celebrate and rejoice with you. Like, this is amazing that you having success right now. Read on.
And weep with them that weep.
And weep with them that weep. You know what I'm saying? Like if it, like, you want to console your brother. You understand your brother's down. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the time to start gloating. You know what I'm saying? When your brother's down, how amazing your life is. Right. You know what I'm saying? You want to appeal to, you understand, to your brothers. Read on.
Verse 16. Be of the same mind one toward another.
Be what?
Be of the same mind one toward another.
You understand? We need to be of the same mind. And that's exactly how we are inside here.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we are all of the same mind. Good.
Mind not high things, but consent to men of low estate.
You understand? Like, don't be high-minded. Don't think of yourself greater than you are. Don't make that mistake. You know what I'm saying? And every brother in here is a gem, but, like, you know what I'm saying? You don't got to be so damn high-minded and think so high of yourself, because all our righteousness is as filthy rags.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't do nothing here. And like, there's never a day in here where I felt like I made it or I did something wonderful. Or, you know what I'm saying? I always feel like there's more that needs to be done. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when brothers turn around and try to tell me like, oh, this or that, I'm like, I don't know what none of that means. Because what does it matter for today?
Right.
Don't matter. Yesterday's gone. What are we doing right now? Right here, right now, in this moment. Good?
Be not wise in your own conceits.
Don't be wise in your own conceits. And that's like damn near everybody outside of here. That's like everybody we battle.
Right.
That's like everybody who comments on your Facebook post when you say something about like, I seen a post earlier about how all these fake Israelite groups need to get grafted back into One West. You understand? Somebody came under there and said something. I'm just like, this man is a man who's wise in his own conceits. He thinks he knows something. You know what I know? I know nothing.
Right.
I know the more I learn, the less I know.
Right.
You understand? That's it. I don't even sit there and think like I know a scripture like how I'm supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Because all of a sudden the Lord could throw a curveball and unlock that on a whole new level.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Take it a deeper level of understanding. Read on.
Verse 17. Recompense to no man evil for evil.
You understand? Like your brothers in here, man, you don't want to be tit for tat. You don't want to, oh, he did this and now I'm doing this. I'm going to move like this because he moves like this. Like, come on, bro. Are you 12?
Right.
Like, what are we doing here? You don't recompense evil for evil. Feel like you need to get somebody back. Good.
Provide things honest in the sight of all men.
Man, and it says in the sight of all men because you're not supposed to just be honest among us. You're supposed to be honest with everybody.
God.
You know what I'm saying? Like you see somebody, like I ain't telling you, you know what I'm saying, if you ain't see it and you find $100 on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's just your day. All right. But if you see someone walking and drop the 100, give them the 100.
Right.
Hey, excuse me. You see them drop their card. You understand? You ain't got to be with the credit cards and the scammers. Like you ain't. Give them the card. Give them the wallet.
Right.
What you need it for? Be honest with everybody. Don't cheat nobody. You understand? Good.
Verse 18. If it be possible, as such as lieth in you.
Read that again.
If it be possible, as much as lieth in you.
You understand? If it be possible, as much as you possibly can. Go ahead.
Live peaceably with all men.
Yeah, I try to be at peace with everybody, contrary to popular belief. But be at peace with everybody, man. Like you don't like we're men of war. You understand? So we're at war with eating pork.
Right.
You understand? We're at war with every principality. But if you could be at peace with your brother, be at peace with your brother. And a lot of people don't get that. Like they see us on Clubhouse stages, right? And we'll be, in the room talking to brothers. You know what I'm saying? Brother might be from another camp. And somebody will be like, yo, why you ain't blast him? Why you ain't do this? Because was he against me in that moment?
Nah.
Why do I have to break the peace? Why do I have to be the one to break the peace?
Right.
You understand? Like there's going to be a time where it's go time. But why do you got to be the peace breaker? Why do you have to be the one, the instigator, the antagonizer, the starter, the brawler, insert anything? And I'm not telling you not to be ready for it. Be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. You could be ready to strike. But in that moment, you understand where you're harmless as a dove. Should you not be at peace?
Right.
Y'all with me?
Gonna walk on.
That's another subtle art of warfare.
Right.
It's also another fishing tool.
Gonna walk on.
You understand?
Right.
Read 19.
Gonna walk on. Verse 19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine. I will repay, saith the Most High.
Yo, as a young man, you know how bad I want to knock Polite out? You know how many people I personally wanted to fight from the conscious community? You know how many times I had to call Captain Zaryak up and be like, can I go? And he'd be like, la. You understand? True stories. Go ask. He'll tell you. Or maybe he won't. Maybe you don't want a young man to make a mistake. But what did we have to do to Polite? Nothing. That boy getting ready to fight for his life right now.
Right.
Because the Lord says, vengeance is mine, I will repay them.
That's right.
You understand? Like, how many of them, you understand, purple cats that we have to go beat up? None of them. 2 weeks later, one of them got shot.
Right.
You understand? And Lord be with that brother. You understand? I don't wish no ill. I don't want him to pass. You know what I'm saying? I wish him a speedy recovery. But this is what I'm telling you. That's the Lord.
That's right.
Most High is in that mix. Like, I've seen so many of our enemies. Like you think about all the stories you hear about, you understand, Tazadakia coming up against Commander General Yohana. Did Commander General Yohana have to raise an army and go punk that cat?
Right.
Tazadakia passed.
Right.
Now, brother, you understand? We saying rise again for that man. You understand? Why? Because the Lord is going to get his vengeance. You don't sit there. You ain't got to act like you got to avenge it or nothing like that. You think I give a damn about WAC 100? Lord gonna deal with him.
Right.
You understand? Like, and there'll always be a moment. Like, you think about even them points in times, like I said, around Cross the Line. You know, before Cross the Line, Polite shot up the Bible with ISUPK on it. Did all manner of wicked things. And then what? And then in that moment, the Lord gave an opportunity for that cat to get punked. When's the last time you seen Polite at a camp? Cross the Line? You ain't never see him teach in the streets again.
Right.
When's the last time you seen him try to battle? It is the Lord that has done it.
That's right.
You understand? Because we didn't go and try to do it on our time. We didn't go and try to do it when we felt like it. You understand? We did it when the Lord gave the order.
Right.
You got to bury that inside yourself. It's a difficult thing to do on your own. That's why I say Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh Shai. You understand? For the men inside of here that lead us. You understand? Get out of hand. Y'all understand?
Come on, card.
Let me see what else we got. Give me Hebrews 13:1. Unless anybody got any questions? You know the Bible. That's what it is. You got no question. You know the Bible, Shaw. You know the whole Bible. Mapataza, you know the whole Bible. Front to back. Sis, see that? Y'all ain't studying. Nah, don't ask me a question off the cuff now. Don't ask me you got a guilty question. I don't want to hear that. What's up?
It was more because I needed a breakdown of like Judah.
What specifically?
A breakdown, just the scenario of Judah, fifth chapter. Not a specific question.
Let's get there. I'm gonna go to Judith, the 5th chapter.
Got him on card. Salakia. That's the. Let me get there. Judith, chapter 5 and verse 1. Then
So what's specifically in the chapter?
To me, it's more about the fifth chapter.
We're in the 5th chapter.
Oh, so I mean the verse.
5th verse. Okay.
Got him on card. Judah, chapter 5, verse 5. Salakia. Judah, chapter 5, verse 5. Then said Achior, the captain of all the sons of Ammon, let my Lord now hear a word from the mouth of thy servant, and I will declare unto thee the truth concerning this people, which dwelleth near thee, that inhabiteth the hill countries, and there shall no lie come out of the mouth of thy servant.
All right. So this is an Ammonite who's going to this other heathen, right? And he's about to say, these Hebrews that you're trying to conquer and rule over, let me tell you about them. So he's now trying to set the stage, you understand, to be able to gain favor with this cat, you understand, on basically he's going to tell him how to destroy us. And then when he goes on, he runs down our entire pedigree and history. And then what he reveals to him is sin is our kryptonite. If you get them to sin against their God, we will be able to destroy them. When their God is with them, they're untouchable. But if they sin against their God, they're powerless. That's what happens in this chapter. Good.
Verse.
So like, is that like is that sort of in a way sort of like the Deuteronomy will be the curses? Is it linked up in some way?
It's linked up in the curses is what the Lord told us. But this is more so letting you know that the heathens know it and they take advantage of it.
Oh, con.
You understand? Because they try to get you to sin so they can rule over you, because now the Lord's not coming to our rescue. You understand? Any questions online?
Nah, sir.
No? All right. Boom, 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 boom. I'm trying to see here now. I'm trying to see if I want to mess with my main man show all over here or what. So if you took out a camp, right? You in charge of the camp. And a Christian came up and started, doing their whole spiel. And then started talking about fallen angels. How would you cut fallen angels? Give me something. You gonna let the Christian just speak heresy?
Lie, sir. Salakia. If I may, sir, Salakia. This is talking about this. This is going back to
Why you say it like that? Why you say it like that? You could go there. Is that what you would use? Is that reinforcing your argument? Does that help or hurt you? That's it. Christianity wins. Mupatazai, you got something?
So like, is that like Isaiah? Isn't it in Isaiah? They're breaking down between like the stars, the falling stars.
Isaiah is definitely where Christians will go. They'll go there for Lucifer.
Who's this? Well, you could use that same scripture.
Okay.
I mean, they're not gonna break it down.
They for sure could break it down. If you go to Isaiah 14 and 12.
How?
Let's go to Isaiah 14 and 12.
Come on. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven?
From where?
From heaven.
You see, brother? Lucifer, you see someone fallen from heaven. That's because this is, and it's funny because I'm wearing this shirt right now that says Ghetto Angels. You understand? Fell from heaven, good?
Oh, Lucifer.
Oh, Lucifer. That's the devil, brother. Good?
son of the morning,
Son of the morning. Go ahead.
how art thou cut down to the ground,
How art thou cut down to the ground? How did you fall out of heaven? Good.
which didst weaken the nation?
Because Lucifer got power over the nation. The devil got power over the nations. This sounds like an angel to me, brother. Who else is in heaven? I'm going to chop you all up. Now what? Uh-oh.
So, like I said, you asked a question or what?
Hold on. Huh? Let me see something here. Yeah, that's how we're doing things. Good.
Salakia. So wouldn't you have to go to Genesis? I mean,
Why you gotta leave? Why you gotta go all the way over there, brother? We right here in Isaiah. That's the problem with you Hebrews. You never want to deal. I just showed you Lucifer fell from heaven. Good.
So, like, first we got to find out what the word Lucifer means, which means light bearer.
It means light, but right, because what the angels do, brother, they bring light. Uh-oh, I got him running. Uh-oh. That's it, y'all? Y'all threw in the towel?
Well, so if I could remember, like Lucifer means light bearer. Son of the morning means that the Lucifer.
Sun, what's the sun of the morning? That's the sun. That's the brightest star.
God.
That's how much glory this angel had, brother.
Well, it's not talking about an angel. It's talking about the oppressor, because he's shining upon the earth, because he's the one that's ruling this.
I don't see that there. It didn't say that in 12. That's not what we read. Said he fell from heaven. When the oppressor fall from heaven, brother?
Can we use that scripture? I believe in Genesis.
Oh, you want to run to Genesis too? You gonna run? You running with him? Look at him. You drove too fast. Here comes IUIC. Now you need to go to Revelations. You gotta go all over the Bible. You don't got a fallen angels breakdown? You know, I always say two things. I say everything spiritual, and I say take good notes. Now, if you had a precept book, you could have went to F for fallen angels and cut me. You had your hand up? No, this is my book. You can't have. You pointed at my book. You can't have my book. Good.
Well, yes, but in Revelation, thus tells you that this falling angel is a man.
Where does it say that?
It's not.
Book, chapter, verse.
It should be right here in Revelations,
It should be.
right? Because it says Satan and the devil. So we gonna look
Right.
it up.
That's what I'm saying, brother. And Lucifer falling from heaven.
It said falling from heaven, but it's not literal. The Bible is, it's metaphorical, it's allegorical, and some are literal.
You're not showing me that.
Well, that's why it's
That's what it says right here. I'm talking about what's in the book. You sound like you philosophizing.
Damn, I can't find it. I have it. Some revelations, brother. I could get you. I could save you.
You could save me. You can't save yourself. Where in Revelations? You said it's supposed to be. I ain't seen it yet. You pulled the scripture helping me.
Well, I'm not running, brother. I'm right here. I'm gonna save you.
Mm-hmm.
This can happen still.
Let's
Won't
see.
get you out that church.
Because right now I'm over here feeling like
That was
It's on
easy.
That was
Revelations 12 and 9. It says,
what does it say? Read it.
I'll read it for you. Revelation chapter 12, verse 9. And the dragon was cast out, the old serpent called devil and Satan.
Called what?
Devil and Satan.
Thank you. You
So
just
what-
helped me. You said he was called a man. It said the devil and Satan. That's what I'm saying. Lucifer was cast out of heaven. The
But
devil.
That's why I told you, brother, we was going to Genesis. You say I was running.
But you ran to Revelations.
Wait. Right. We're in Revelations now because you don't want to hear Genesis.
You ran to Revelations. You proving that this is an angel that was cast out of heaven.
That's like I said, it's metaphorical.
I didn't see that.
It's not telling you it was cast
You proving
out.
my case. It sound literal to me.
Wait.
Come on, man. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit more. After that, y'all done lost to Christianity. Good.
If I may, we would go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 39, verse 20.
Yeah, another one who want to run all over the Bible. What this got to do with Lucifer and the devil, that is Satan, the old serpent cast out of heaven? Yikes. Yikes. You didn't pull the scripture that helped me. Y'all running all over. I'm gonna give you a little bit more, then I'm gonna give it to y'all for time's sake.
Salakia, I got
Mhm.
a truth of Tazawas, Isaiah chapter 14, verse 16.
What's his rank?
Trooper.
A trooper? And what'd he say?
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 16.
And what does that say?
Get that right now. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man?
Is this the what?
The man.
The what?
The man.
Now, this is what Mapatazar was looking for. He thought it was in Revelations. It was in the same chapter. It was 4 verses down. You're telling me a trooper found this? I know y'all ain't letting the trooper outwork y'all. I don't want to bring y'all down, but I'm going to bring the trooper up right now. Well done, because that's where you go to prove that this is a man and not an angel. This whole chapter proves that this is a man and not an angel. Good?
Hold on.
Yeah, Salakia. Well, in our defense collectively, well, that's a trooper. He being well taught in the UPK. So, you know what I mean? Give him a head clap for that.
Man, you've been around since 2012, bro. What you talking about?
Nah, Salakia, but you know, I mean, he helped us out. Brotherhood is a weapon. So.
Brotherhood is a weapon, but here's what that happens though. Y'all need to study more. You understand? Like, come on, how many episodes across the line you seen, Shaw? Come on, Papa.
Hundreds.
Like, now I want you to really think about this. If somebody came up and challenged you on this, how would you defend the truth? Y'all understand? You have to add this into your arsenal. You have to add this into your breakdown. For time's sake, what's you know what I'm saying? I mean, for the sake of y'all, let's break this down. Start back at 12.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
Good.
Verse 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven.
I will what?
Ascend into heaven.
Good.
I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High.
Now, I'm having you read this for a minute because we're going to go back, okay?
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
Good.
Verse 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds.
Now, you see how all this doesn't sound like it's just a man. It sounds like it's an angel from Christianity. Good.
I will be like the Most High.
Good.
Verse 15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell.
Because that's where the devil's going, brother. Good.
To the sides of the pit.
Good.
Verse 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man?
Is this the what?
The man.
Now that we know that this is a man, we have to go back and break down the metaphor that it is. So let's go back to 12.
Verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
You got to understand who Lucifer is. Go up to verse 4.
Verse 4. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon.
Against who?
King of Babylon.
Is the king a high position or a low position?
High position.
You understand? Is heaven high or low?
High.
The king is in a heavenly seat on earth. You understand? In a heavenly position, a high position. This is talking about a proverb against the king of Babylon. So when we read this moving forward, who are we talking about? Shaw?
A man that's sitting high in power.
Also known as?
A king.
Of?
Babylon.
We're talking about the king of Babylon. Read on.
And say, how have the oppressor seized?
Who?
The oppressor seized.
Go ahead.
The golden city seized.
So we're talking about someone in a high position coming out of power. Let's go back to 12.
Verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
Heaven meaning, O Lucifer, the light bearer. You understand? The one who's shining right now. The king of Babylon who's in a high seat. How are you ceased? How are you fallen? How are you going to come down from this high position? Lucifer's the king of Babylon. And not just the king of Babylon, the ruling class of Babylon. You understand? Good.
Son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground?
Because the ground is what? What's heaven? High.
High. Come on, come on.
What's the ground?
Low.
Low. You understand? If you're in heaven and you're cut down, where do you end up?
To the ground.
To the ground. Good?
Which didst weaken the nations.
You understand? And now, what does the king of Babylon do? Think of America today. When America goes somewhere, it weakens them,
God.
destabilizes them. Read on.
Verse 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven.
They said that they're going to rise like this. That's what they wanted to do. Good.
I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High.
What's the stars of the Most High? Israel. Did they not exalt themselves above us?
God.
Good.
I will sit. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation.
What's the congregation? Who's the congregation? Good.
The nation of Israel.
Israel. He wants to sit above. You understand, the congregation, because these are the stars of the Lord. They want to be above them. You understand? Because if stars are where?
Above.
Above what? They're in heaven.
God.
You understand? So where did the king of Babylon want to be? In heaven.
Oh, God.
He wanted to be above us. Because the beginning of this chapter says what? Read verse 1 and 1.
Come on, come on. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob.
The Lord will have mercy on Jacob, meaning what? Jacob was being destroyed and ruled over by the king of Babylon.
God.
Go ahead.
And will yet choose Israel.
But the Lord is still going to choose Israel. Go ahead.
And set them in their own land.
Go ahead.
And the strangers shall be joined with them.
The strangers are going to be joined with us, meaning the other nations in this context. Go ahead.
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
They're going to cleave onto us. Why? Because we're going to be rising. We're going to be ruling. We're going to be shining. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
So these, you understand, other nations become servants, become handmaids, while we were the esclavo. You get what I'm saying? Good.
And they shall take them captives.
They shall what?
Take them captives.
Go ahead.
Whose captives they were.
Meaning Israel, before the mercy, was what? Was captive. So we were their captives. Before captivity, what was Israel? A nation, right? And this nation was what? Shining. This was God's stars. And then what happened to us? We were brought low. We were brought down. And then who went above us? Shaul?
The oppressor.
The oppressor. And the oppressor's who?
The king of Babylon.
The king of Babylon. You with me?
Come on, come.
You see how everything in the chapter is all congruent,
Come on, come.
is all together?
Come on, come.
Because one person is up here and the other person is down here. And then guess what? It switches.
Right.
So when Babylon's ruling over us, we say, well, who's going to take you down? Who's going to bring you down from this delicious state?
Right.
This heavenly state? Who's going to cut you to the ground? Because the stars of Israel got to be returned. Let's go back to verse 16.
Come on, come. Verse 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee,
You know
saying,
what? I'm sorry. Let's go to 14.
Come on, come. Verse 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds.
Mhm.
I will be like the Most High.
And ain't that what they do? They try to make themselves God. They understand. They try to ascend above the heights. Good.
Verse 15. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell.
Yet you're going to be brought down to a low condition because we were in captivity. We're coming out of captivity. That captivity was hell. That was the pit. Now we're taking them captives whose captives we were. Good.
To the sides of the pit. Verse 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man?
Is this the what?
The man.
The what?
The man.
The man. And that man was who?
The king of Babylon.
You understand? Good.
That made the earth to tremble.
That made the earth to tremble. And that's what they did. They did that with their armies. They do that today with their armies, with their military. Go ask Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Come on.
Go ask the Japanese. You understand? Go ask the what do they call right now? The Ukrainians. Their kingdom is trembling with all the missiles and whatnot that Russia's firing. Read on.
That did shake kingdoms.
That what?
That did shake kingdoms.
That shook kingdoms. Go ahead.
Verse 17. That made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof.
How do you make the world a wilderness? What's the difference between New York City and the wild and upstate New York, the woods, the forest? That's true. What else? And what's the difference between animals and people? We live in a different habitat. I'll give it to y'all. We have rules. We have laws. Without them, we're animals. Do they push God's laws in Babylon?
Blah.
And as a result, we become no better than the animals. They make everything a wilderness. You make everything a wilderness when you remove God's law from the land. Because remember, did God make the animals in his image?
Blah.
He made us in his image. And our image is what? That we have instructions that we follow, laws that we follow. So when they say that we made the world a wilderness, they took God's laws out of here. Read on.
Come on, card. And destroyed the cities thereof.
You understand? And destroyed the cities thereof. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like take a look at our cities. How are they? They're destroyed.
Come on, card.
Why are the cities destroyed? Because they don't function properly, because this is the man who's in power. And it's why he needs to be removed from power. Good?
Come on, card. That opened not the house of his prisoners.
Like, now turn around and tell me, you know what I'm saying? Does he open the house of his prisoners today inside of America? How many brothers can't get bonds? How many brothers can't get bail? Good?
Come on, card. Verse 18. All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, everyone in his own house.
All the kings, you understand, all of them live deliciously. All the ruling class. Now remember, what are we talking about? The king of Babylon. Now it's talking about all the kings. Go ahead.
Go on, card. Verse 19. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch.
You understand? Like it's nothing. Good.
And as the raiment of those that are slain.
Good.
Thrust through with the sword.
Good.
That go down to the stones of the pit.
Good.
As a carcass trodden under feet.
Like once again, like it don't even matter. Good.
Verse 20. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial.
Now, you know, burial is something that you do for someone you care about.
Right.
Good.
because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be removed.
Renown.
Renown.
We ain't gonna ever remember them. Good.
Verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children.
Whoa, whose children? Good.
The king of Babylon.
The king of Babylon's children. So who's Lucifer? Good.
The oppressor, the king of Babylon.
Right. So this can't be talking about an angel. Good.
Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers.
Now we're talking about their fathers. So now we know this is a family. This ain't just talking about just one person. Good.
That they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
Good.
Verse 22. For I will rise up against them, saith the Most High of hosts, and cut off from Babylon.
From where?
From Babylon.
From where?
From Babylon.
Because remember who we're talking about here. Good.
The name
Good.
and remnant
Good.
and son and nephew, saith the Most High.
If there's a son, what does that tell you? There's a father.
Right.
If there's a nephew, what does that tell you, Shaw?
There's a uncle.
There's an uncle, which makes the son and the nephew what? Cousins.
God.
Which means there's an auntie.
Right.
There's a mama. This is, I told you earlier, this is talking about a whole family. This is talking about a whole nation of people. Y'all understand?
Cut on one card.
So could y'all defend this now?
Cut on one card.
All right. You're going to see. I ain't going to do it tonight because now y'all think you sharp. I done gave you the cheat codes. I'm going to come back in a couple of weeks and see if y'all are stuck.
Cut on one card.
Good? Mapataza?
Just a little while ago with the other one, I noticed you could go to Obadiah where it said he was building building amongst the stars. So
This is true. You know what I'm saying? But once again, y'all want to run everywhere when you could have just cut me in the chapter. You know what I mean? You thought it was in Revelations. You got to know where it's at. Take good notes. Consolidate your notes. You know what I mean? You don't have to have the greatest memory in the world if you got a pen and pad.
Right.
I don't even care if y'all do it digitally. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? You want to write it down in your notepad. All right? Any questions online?
La sir.
Any questions in the room? You called me 11 o'clock at night the other night. You don't got no questions now? Nobody want to ask questions in class. Everybody want to call me when class is over. 5 in the morning, 12 at night, 2 in the morning. Yeah, can I get a breakdown on, class is at 7? Are you battling someone right? Did Jehovah's Witness come to the door? What happened? You don't got to just ask a question now just because I said it. If you don't got one, you don't got one. If you got one, you do. Now, of course, I'm joking. You know what I'm saying? But my point is, if you got questions that could wait for class. Because we've been in this classroom for 2 hours, and I only heard one question. Do you have one? Nope. All right. So with that, let's pass the class over to Priest and Officer Shaw.
Clap it up for the class.
Clip it.